City Show Radio. Pat O'Melia here on GGR. And as always, we're here to entertain you, inform you, and maybe if I learn how to work this time, it would be good. So I could time the show. And we're sitting here BSing about all the other things that go on around here. And we forgot what we were doing. So I got to do this on the fly. What are we going to talk about today? Well, first off, tell your friends, download the Live 365 app so you can hear all our programming and all the other important program that you want to definitely listen to. And there's a lot on Live 365 besides me. You got a lot of music. I'm actually working on the timer here because it was for a half-hour show. This is a 1-hour show. It was a tough day getting here. You know, as I said many times, I'm doing a high school program, and today we purchased a van for the project for the program, and the van was delivered this morning. I'm trying to get going. Yeah, you got the day to do, and the guy called, I got the van, I got to drive it here. You want me to drop it off? I'm like, well, tomorrow would have been better, but okay, drop it off. Of course, they're not immediately there, so I'm waiting. Then you got to go over the van, look at the paperwork. Guy thought he had 2 sets of keys, only had 1 set of keys. And it's a Ford Transit Connect van, and it's got some weird key on it, so you know it's like a $100 key to make. And we're going to see if it's got the second key. After that, we got some other aggravation things that happen. I get off the turnpike today over at 15X, and I'm detoured through the entire city of Secaucus. Maybe we're paving New County Road, I'm not sure. Get through there. I want to drop my wife off to my daughter's house, all the way to Route 3, just to go to Jersey City. I get here, I got to wait for the sweeper. Just an annoying start for the day. What are we going to talk about before we go to commercial? Give me some topics, then we'll go. We're going to talk about Gottheimer saying the Dems need to bully Trump every day. Steve Spiller, how does this guy get $40 million for a campaign from teacher dues? Uber donates $1 million to a PAC that supports Mayor Steve Fulop for governor. He must be getting a lot of Uber Eats to get $1 million there. And there's a whole bunch of other things we want to talk about. But first, we want to break for commercial. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. I'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
We're back. You're listening to Pat O'Melia here on City Show Radio on GGR. Like I said, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your mom's friends, tell your nemesis, as Amy Poehler said. To download the app, there's a lot on there. But first, let's start off here. Josh Gottheimer. I like Josh. I think he does a good commercial. I think he's a believable guy. I believe he'll finish 4th next Tuesday. And and he never lost an election before. Yeah, that streak is about to end. I kind of like what he says. You know, all the candidates have some good ideas. I'm more involved with Mayor Steve Fulop, friend of mine for, I don't know, 22, 23 years, something like that. And I've been texting a lot with Jack Citarelli. These are my 2 horses going into the primary. But Gottheimer, who came out like a rocket when he announced he's running, he was the guy. Everybody was around him. The HCO was with him. Everybody here, everybody there. Everybody wants to be with Gottheimer. Nobody wants to be with Gottheimer now. You know, he dropped in the polls. It's a 2-horse race, really. It's Cheryl and Fulop. And don't believe the polls that Cheryl released that she was up like 30 points. You know, all the polls had Fulop within 5 or 6. The margin of error. I think it's going to be very close. I think Fulop does pull it out Tuesday, but we have to see. It remains to be seen. But Gottheimer, he's doing an interview last week, and he's talking about fighting Trump and that the Dems have to bully Trump every day. How the F is that supposed to make the country work better? that you're going to be a complete pain in the ass to the government, to the presidency, to the Senate. If you guys, the Dems, and I'm talking all of you Dems, everybody get around the radio, get around your Alexa and your Siri and whoever you're listening on. You guys effed this up over the last 4 years so bad that you got Trump in overwhelmingly. It's your fault. Not only did you get Trump in, you lost the Senate. You lost the Congress. You lost it all. And now it's been exposed on how much waste we have, thanks to Doge. For that matter, Elon's got a problem with the new tax bill. Unfortunately, Elon's got to realize nobody gets the whole loaf. And of course, we all would like taxes. We would all like taxes reduced. We all like the size of government reduced. We like the government's hand out of your pockets, that sort of thing. But that ain't going to happen overnight. That's going to take many, many budgets to keep cutting. But a tremendous job done by Elon Musk and the Doge guys. But he's upset now because with every budget, you got to get people on your side. So listen, we want some money for a monument somewhere. We want to study the singing habits of ants or whatever the hell it is. But they got to pork these things up. It's not as porked up as usual, but it's porked up. But all this we discovered during Doge was the Democrats. This is Biden. Who the hell knows who was calling the shots there? Somebody was saying now it was Jill, his wife's, what they call a work husband, was calling a lot of shots. Jeez, our government was being run by some office personnel who had an auto pen. The Dems lost this. And for Gottheimer, for any of these guys that sit there and say, we're just going to aggravate and call for complete chaos against the Trump administration, do you want to do this for the next 3 3/4 years? Just tank the country? Because you lost, and the reason you lost is you guys, the Dems, effed it up so bad that the Dems advantages? Everyone advantages. Everybody who Dems. It wasn't Republicans that got Trump elected. Dems went over there too. So to say you just want to sit there and bully Trump and try to just crash the government for the next 3 3/4 years is completely ridiculous. And the other thing, he's got his commercial where he's fighting Trump in the ring. You want to fight Trump? A hell of a lot easier to fight him in D.C. than it is in Trenton. You're there. Hey, you got to walk over to the White House. You can box with him all you want. That's a long walk from Trenton. Don't give me this crap. It's like we're so stupid we believe this stuff. Believe me, the American public has got educated, especially over the last year or so, and really over the last couple of months, when things are coming out. The rats are jumping off of the ship with the Dems, Tapper. Everybody's writing books. Everybody's talking about how chaotic it was in the White House, and the guy was a zombie, the president. He had no mental capabilities. I don't know how true it is, but I'm sure a good percentage of it is. We were lied to for years. Who made the decision on Afghanistan to get out of there and lose American lives and the lives of all the people that were loyal to the Americans while we were there? Who made that? Who did these decisions? Who opened up the borders? Was it Biden? Was Biden eating baby food the day he got in there and somebody auto-penned that? That we got to figure out. But for Gottheimer to sit there, he wants to be the opponent for the administration. We want to bully Trump. What a friggin' idiot. This is not, we need Trump to be successful, whether you like Trump or not. And like I said before, I'll ride with the guy for a year. Let's see what he does. The last time he was president, we had money. I didn't have any money under Biden. I had some money under Trump. So I'm hoping we all have some money in our pocket again. But I'll ride with it for a year. I got to hope this guy's successful. I can't have another 4 years of what we went through with Biden. And now I'm starting to think, maybe Gottheimer isn't too smart. If this is how you want to go about conducting your business of the people, and once the freaking campaigns are done, it is the business of the people. That's your job. Do the best you can. Now, unfortunately, you lost because you all sucked it up. You suck so bad that you walked Trump right in. You're to blame. Wasn't that a great campaign by Trump? You guys were so bad, the Dems, that you completely imploded your own party. Now, to say you're going to sit there and you want to just bully Trump every day, well, you're going to have a lot of time because you're going to be in Congress because you're not going to be in Trenton. You're going to finish fourth. You're going to be definitely finished behind Phillip and Russ Baraka and Cheryl. So you're definitely in the 4-hole. And now I'm starting to believe that's where you belong. They have the attitude that you just want to be the opposition, whether it's right or wrong. I just want to bully them every day. I'm trying to get the country. We all want the country to get back on its feet, get the economy going. The high tide raises all ships, that sort of thing. It's like Carvel said during the Clinton administration, probably one of the most successful presidencies in history, Clinton. It's about the economy, stupid. Get the economy going. Get manufacturing back here in the United States. Let's build something. We won't have to worry about tariffs if we build things here. Yeah, and learn the lessons we learned from the pandemic, because I'm certain there's another pandemic. For that matter, in the Post last week, there was a story about another version of COVID-19, another mean one that came out of China, of course. Maybe it comes with the Chinese food. I don't know. But you order your Chinese food and you get a side order of COVID there. But it's now been discovered in New York City. So if it's in New York City, since so many of these people want to live in Jersey City and work in New York City and spend their money in New York City, we'll have it here soon. Sean Spiller, whatever. Sean Spiller, he is the candidate for governor who's made like zero traction. And it's amazing because he has the most money. And where did he get the most money from? He got approximately $40 million from the NJEA. They funneled it to a pro-Spiller PAC. This guy had zero traction. He wasn't even invited to the debates because he had zero traction. There was no fundraising. The only fundraising he did was from the union. Now, this is the dues of hardworking teachers. $40 million was funneled to this guy Spiller, who again ain't even making a dent in this election. Like I said, wasn't even invited to the debate. Teachers who are constantly complaining they're underpaid. Many are. That's why when I get into these budgets, like Jersey City, we're $1 billion, 2 million, I think it is. I have no problem in giving the teachers a raise and go over every other friggin' thing in that budget. I need to doge the budget. We got an election coming up for mayor in Jersey City. First guy that talks about dozing in Jersey City, I'm in. That's my guy or gal, whatever it is. I want to doge. I want to doge the Jersey City Board of Education. Doge. Find out what the hell are we doing with $1 million+ budget here. But give the teachers more money. Now, teachers could have more money if we cut back a little bit on their dues. The dues that they just funneled $40 million into this guy's election. And again, when all said and done, next Tuesday, when we get the election results, it'll be amazing to see what the price per vote is for Spiller. You're going to take that $40 million and then divide it by the amount of votes. It might be like, $3,000 a vote. And all these teachers, who are smart people, because they're teachers, and I'm sure there's a few math teachers out there that are going to say, what the F did we do here? Why did we give this guy $40 million? And he didn't even make a dent. And he's not going to make a dent. He's going to go back to teaching. And $40 million less for the NJEA. Maybe you need to doge the NJEA, because there's something that the teachers should revolt on it. Should be, stop paying your dues. Who the hell authorized the NJEA to spend $40 million on what at best could have been considered a fringe candidate? It wasn't the teachers. I'm sure, they got teachers talking about, you got to buy our supplies for the kids out of our own money. It'd be a little easier if you'd have to pay so much in dues. But think about that. The union funneled $40 million into this guy. Now, he's a big player in the NJEA. But that is like, maybe we need to come up with laws about that. Maybe these PACs, we have to rein in the PACs. But, for unions that are paid for by taxpayer dollars, because the teachers are paid by taxpayer dollars in most cases. There are some private schools. And even a charter is a taxpayer dollar. Is this the best use of it? I don't think so. To give this guy $40 million. And there was never a shot at this guy being a player in this campaign. This was really going to be, the big three to me was, on the Democratic side, was Cheryl, Gottheimer, Phillip. You can make an argument for Russ Baraka, too. But those were the big three. On the Republican side, It was Citarelli, who it looks like, I was joking about how many times this guy's run for governor. Looks like it's going to work out this time. And I tell you, and you got Bill Spadia and Bradnick. He's a pretty good lawyer, funny guy, does a lot of stand-up. And he has a couple of other fringes in there. Yeah, those guys are the main players in it. Spiller was never a main player, and it was never going to be a main player. And what's really scary, you want a competitive election. I don't know if my friend Steve Fulop gets it here, I don't know if he can rebuild the Democratic Party to take on the Republicans, to take on what we have discovered since Trump became president with the misspent money and all these ridiculous deals and who's signing things. And, it wasn't a great 8 years of Murphy either. And I had high hopes for Murphy. I hoped for Murphy to shared services, combining municipalities. Two municipalities combined, that was it. Shared services, there were some here and there, not a lot. You've got to cut the expense of the country and the state. New Jersey, in particular, is like the number one in property taxes. All right, let's break for a commercial. You're listening to the City Show Radio. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
That's one of those unwinnable things, Afghanistan. Even Russia couldn't do it. We're back? Oh, we're back. I'm sitting here talking to Garrett over there, my director engineer. And we're back. Talking more about the governor's race here. Donations. Now, we talk about poll numbers. And Cheryl released a poll a week or so ago that showed up like, huge numbers over Fulop and Russ Baraka. A lot of poll numbers showed Harris beating Trump. So, we can't even believe the polls anymore. It's like the media is trying to lean everything. They love leaning it against Trump. They did that for the first term. But this time, people are just too smart. And you see it in the ratings. Ratings for CNN and MSNBC have tanked. The people aren't going to be lied to anymore. So don't believe the polls. You vote who you think the best candidate is. But what really talks is money. You ever wonder how they come up with the football lines, the point spread? We do the Jersey line here during the football season. Those lines are manipulated by money. Who's betting what money on what teams? Who's betting the over-unders? Who's betting the teams to win? What the prop bets are? Very similar in politics. You can use that same analogy. Money. You take a company like Uber. Uber wants to be involved politically. They're a huge company. They want their political influence. Everybody would like political influence. So Uber's laying their money out. And to use the terminology of horse racing, they put win, place, and show money out there. They put $1 million into Steve Fulop's PAC, a PAC that's supporting Steve Fulop. They put $500,000 into Cheryl's PAC, and $500,000 into Citarelli's PAC. They're looking at Fulop as win, Cheryl as place. They even have a show. They don't care. They know it's Fulop or Cheryl, one of two. And it's obvious that Citarelli's going to win. Yeah, it's a shame. I'm a fan of Bill Spady. I've listened to his show for many years. I agree with a lot of the things he said. I don't agree with everything. Even with Steve Fulop, his friend for 20-some-odd years, I don't agree with everything. We've been on the other side of issues many, many times. There have been heated conversations over the years. But when I'm looking at a poll number, that's the poll number. Where is the money going? Where's the smart money going? You're at the track. who's the favorite? And the favorite is by the money. Fulop may be the favorite. Now, I'm going to say Uber looked at it and said, I'm going to put the money on Fulop. What do you think Fulop's going to pull us out? I'm going to tell you, if Fulop doesn't win it, it's going to be a real close second. But like my wife said, finishing second is finishing close to is losing to first. Something like that she was telling me today. It's second is just close to the winner. That's all that is. I think it's something Vince Lombardi said. Winning isn't everything. It's winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. And you gotta win this. And I think Fulop is going to pull us out. The world see this. And I'll tell you, I'd be really interested in the Citarelli Fulop. Because again, with Steve, known him a long, long time. Jack, I got to know in the last campaign and been texting with him during this campaign. It would be an interesting company. It's two guys I can get in the studio. I could get these guys, Steve, Jack, what do you say we meet in the studio? We do some debating here, put you on TV, we'll do all that, get it on Comcast. For that matter, I'm putting together dates for mayoral debates. We couldn't get anything with states. I'm going to do endorsements later. I'm going to piss some people off in Hudson County with some of these endorsements. But the laziest group of candidates I've ever come across are these guys running in Hudson County. Yeah, some of them are a product of the line, and they never had a run in a campaign before. So we're trying to put debates up, John Hines and I. We don't do this. They come up with all excuses. For that matter, I think John did a Twitter bind or something like that last week about why we didn't do any debates. But getting back to the money. Money, it shows you where this race is. And with Uber putting the heavy money on Steve Fulop, take it to the bank. Steve Fulop is going to win or be a very close second. And second just gets you nothing these days, right? There's not horseshoes, as they say. They're not, close doesn't count, only in horseshoes. Now, early voting up. Yeah, for that matter, I got my ballot here. I know I put it somewhere here. Here, it's in front of me. That's the worst place to put things. Now, where I am to vote for early voting started today, and it's through Saturday, I believe, from 10 to 6 o'clock. Now, I'm supposed to vote at 28 Patterson Street. So I rode by 28 Patterson Street today, and the gate was down. How am I supposed to go in there and vote? Now, it used to be the senior center, but we moved the senior center to Central Avenue, over where the parking authority was, and we're going to put a library in there now. And it's really the ideal spot to put a senior center if you want to jam up Central Avenue with every senior bus that has to go there, drop off the seniors, and pick them up. So you really want to cram up Central Avenue? Put a senior center there, Steve. And Steve Fulop did that. I would have never moved the parking authority off there, but I'm not the mayor. See, like I said, there are some things Steve and I agreed to and some we didn't agree to. And one of them was moving the parking authority or parking enforcement. I would have left them on Central Avenue. But no, we wanted to put the seniors there so we could have all these friggin' senior buses double parked loading up these seniors. And they're not the fastest people. That's like me right now with my two bad knees. Oh, man, yeah, you just time us with a sundial. But, yeah, let's do that. But where I used to, where it was Patterson Street, 28 Patterson Street, front room, District 19, gate was down. So now I got to make a final. I'm going to vote on election day anyway. I'm a diehard. I don't need special. I don't need no stinking early voting. I don't need no stinking vote by mail. I want to go there. I want a little receipt that shows me who voted ahead of me, how many people. I want to go in there. I want to press the button. I want to screw up the buttons. I want to mess it up. That's what I want to do. I want them to ask for my driver's license, and I'll say every time, you shouldn't ask for my driver's license. I don't have to prove who I am. This is America. I don't have to show you. I can just vote and say whoever I am. I can vote for you. I vote for me. For that matter, I do get 2 ballots, so I assume I can vote twice. Actually, let's see if the spelling's the same on both names. Maybe they got me as Pat O'Melia on one and Patrick on the other. But I can vote twice. And and for that matter, I was voting one year, and you see the signatures of the people in front of you. And I seen this one signature, the person signed, you compare it to the one the year before, wasn't even close. I know that person wasn't the person from the year before. But I got to find out where I'm voting. I will be going to vote. And I strongly urge you all to vote. And it's an off cycle. We don't have a president at the top. We do have the race, the primary race here. So I'm looking at low voter turnout. So my people of Jersey City, that's Jersey City people, get out and vote. Got to help our home guy. Got to help our homeboy there, Steve Fuller. Hudson County, get out there. Get out there and vote. Make your vote, because really your vote's going to count this time. Because this is going to be close, and it's not going to be a big turnout, especially Jersey City. I don't know what kind of turnout we need. We'll come in with like 8-9%, and that's in a real election, not the primaries. Well, it's a real election, but it's a primary. I don't know what gets us excited. Certainly in elections. But then we bitch about it all the time. Oh, who voted for this guy? Nobody did. This guy didn't come out and vote. Bob Menendez Sr. He's kind of petitioning for Biden. That's all they've got to look at all those Biden pardons he did with the auto pen. Or who did. Who knows who the hell did that. He's kind of angling for a pardon from Trump. Do you think Bob Menendez deserves a pardon? I'm partial because I like Bob Menendez Sr. I like his son also. Yeah, Bob Sr. brought home the bacon. I always said he was a bacon guy. He did a good job for Hudson County. He brought money to Hudson County. He brought money to Jersey City. It would be on the show, a few times back on the radio days, my old days on NJR. He was a good guy that we sent to Washington. He spoke his mind. He worked his way up in the ranks. He was like a teenager working in campaigns. I think he got his first elected office. I think he was like 18 for the school board or something like that. He worked his way up, and he got jammed up here. Now, I don't know how we got jammed up. Bob Menendez is the smartest guy in the room. When you're in that room and they're talking politics or whatever the deal was, believe me, Bob Menendez was the smartest guy in the room. Now, Bob got jammed up here. You have to say he did because he was convicted. Why? That's interesting. You remember with King Kong? King Kong, beauty killed the beast. I kind of think that's what happened here. It didn't have no biplane shooting off the Empire State Building, but it was beauty that killed the beast. I think. What was that? That's a little rumble there. There's a bit of a rumble in my studio here. I think it was beauty. I think Bob took a fall. Now, does he deserve a pardon? Listen, if the Grizzlies, these reality show people, got a pardon, now they did serve 4 years. Many people say, well, they did 4 years. Well, that wasn't the deal. They were supposed to do more years. If they could get a pardon, then Bob gets a pardon. No, I'm sure Trump probably knew them from his reality show TV days. And what's the sense of being friends with somebody if you can't help them? So Trump probably say, yeah, they're Grizzlies, they're okay. They did 4 years. Let's get them out of there. I would like to see Bob get the pardon. But part of the pardon would be that Bob's got to say where the bodies are. Bob knows where all the bodies are, locally and federally. He knows everything. I want him to get a pardon just so he can write the book. Because if you're in jail, the Son of Sam law, you can't profit from writing your book if you did the crime. But if you're pardoned, Bob can take out that pen. Well, now probably a word processor or your computer. Do we even have word processors anymore? Showing my age here. I want to read that book. Now, I'm sure a lot of my friends in Hudson County are like, no book, no book, no book. Because, yes, you'll be chapters of them. I'm certain many of my friends will be chapters. But if the Grizzlies, I think I'm pronouncing their names right, if they could get a pardon, not even talking about pardon Diddy. I don't think you're pardoning Diddy. I don't know. I don't know how to. Don't look good for P. Diddy there. Don't look good at all. But that matter, 50 Cent come out and said he was going to talk to Trump about not pardoning P. Diddy. All right. Yeah, again, let's see how the case goes with P. Diddy. I don't know. P. Diddy seemed to pay a lot of money to these people. Maybe he did abuse them. I don't know. But he seemed to pay for the abuse. And people kept coming back, from what I understand. But I think Bob Sr. should get the pardon. Now, selfishly, because I want to read the book. But I actually honestly do believe Bob got jammed up there. And it was beauty that took down the beast. Go with what you want from that. But I believe that's what happened. Take a little more politics, a little fringe politics, you'd call it. On the New Jersey Turnpike, Now, I don't have an EV, so I never noticed this. And two, I don't go into the rest area as much anymore. I used to live in them. Back in my trailer days, I used to get customers that way. I'd go into truck stops and write down the names of all the trucking companies, then contact them for work or to sell them trailers. I don't fuel up in there because it's the most expensive fuel in New Jersey on the turnpike. But they have EV stations in there. And Tesla put in these EV stations, and then people go in, they charge, and it takes forever to charge. But supposedly the Tesla ones are the quickest. It's like he is the guy when it comes to EVs, with the Tesla. The guy is a genius in our time. He is the Thomas Edison of our time, probably without stealing ideas. He doesn't steal them, he buys them. That's the old-fashioned way, the American way. I don't think it up, I'll buy it. And many of the biggest companies bought out their competitors and created these humongous companies, except for Amazon. Amazon started that in his basement there, his garage. But you look at PayPal, SpaceX, Neuralink, Tesla, Starlink. Guys, just any one of them would be a life-altering generational income that'll set your family, and he needs this. Or he probably needs all of these because he has like 28 kids, Musk, and he's not stopping anytime soon. Him and Nick Cannon are in some sort of a competition. So, yeah, I guess when you have that many kids, you got to have these genius ideas to keep making money. $800 billion isn't enough when you have that many kids. But you think about this guy. Some people had a problem with Doge because he was exposing governmental waste and fraud. Why do we have a problem with that? I want to know about the waste and fraud. Why are we funding that? And we all heard the stories like the $900 toilet seat or the $800 monkey wrench. Come on. He exposed that, and we need to continue exposing that. And it's not just on the federal level. It's on the local level. It's on the state level. Doge everything. Doge the Board of Ed. Doge the City Hall. Doge the county. Doge it all. Doge the state. Find out where the money's going. Now, Tesla, they had the charging stations there. And I guess they were running without a complaint because I didn't even know they were there, and I read everything. The New Jersey Turnpike decommissioned them before they even got another vendor in there. So you're riding down a turnpike, and again, I never had an EV car. I suppose it tells you 20% life is like your phone. Yeah, you got a little thing in there that tells you, you better charge your phone. You pull into the rest area, and there's the charging stations, but they're deactivated. If you're going to get him out of there, at least wait till the other company, who is called Apple Green. Apple Green, who runs the mini-marts in the rest areas, I'm sure really knows a lot about EVs and charging. That's probably more than Elon Musk and Tesla do. So, yeah, let's let these guys do the charging station. So they're going to have Apple Green is going to operate these charging stations. Now, Musk supposedly said that we'll cut a different rate. We're the best chargers. We can give a different rate. We know the prices are going up soon with the electrical. Didn't want to hear it. They just wanted Tesla out of there. Now, again, this is a result of Doge. I don't know how we could be so aggravated with this guy pointing out waste and fraud. We've wanted that forever. I think every president spoke about that. We're going to cut down government. We're going to look at how we're spending the money. We're going to cut out waste and fraud. This guy actually did it, and he pointed it out to the American public. And somehow, he became the bad guy. He ain't the bad guy. The people before who were wasting your money, they're the bad guys. They're the reason why the Republicans are running everything. And I tell you what, they may be running everything for a long time. It'll be a real indicator for how this country's going. Will be New Jersey, I believe, and how this governor's race goes. And it'll be interesting to see the assembly because we're far more educated voter-wise than we were previously. I mean, previously saying like a year ago. We've seen what was uncovered. We've seen what was exposed. We've seen the last 8 years of how New Jersey has been operated. And like I said, with Murphy, I had real high hopes for him, and it just didn't work out. Hopefully our next governor understands the plight of the people that live in this state. they're going to put $1 million tax. They're going to put a tax on homes that sell for more than $1 million. Every home's selling for more than $1 million. And wherever you get Zillow, you're going to put, well, it's like a millionaire tax. No. This home 3 years ago was like $500,000. Now it's $1 million. So again, you're just hurting these poor people who are trying to get ahead. Like I said before, I don't know how a young couple's going to make it. You know, having a dream of a white picket fence, you know, in a 1 or 2 family home, it's $1 million. Like I said, the house in Jersey City is worth like $1.5 million. I look at it like, how is this possible? And they want to give you $1.5 million so they can knock it down. Not like they want to live in it. They're going to knock it down and build a bigger one. So we can sell each floor for $1.25 million. That's how they're selling. They're selling the floors in 3-family homes. $1.25 million, $1.25 million, $1.25 million for each floor. So they get almost $4 million, $3.75 million for build a house on my lot. Knock my house down, or my kid's house now. Lock it down and build a new one. And they give me $1.5 million, and they still made $1.5 million. Well, I'd say probably another $500 for construction. So they made $1 million. Not bad. Now, eventually the bubble burst. When it burst, I'm not sure. A lot of people against the affordable housing because the more you build affordable housing, that brings down property values. Whatever that bubble is going to be, we thought it was going to be the high interest rates, but actually it became a buyer's market. If you were going to pay the high interest rates, you pretty much could name your price. But all these things are happening because of how poorly things were operated and how bad things were operated in the last 4 years under Biden. And you have to throw Murphy in there too, the last 8 years of Murphy. But what's happening here with the Tesla charging stations is really cutting your nose off to spite your face here. The people who need to charge their cars on the turnpike, they can't charge their cars on the turnpike because they decommissioned these before the other people came in. And really, do you think Green Apple is going to run the EV charging stations as well as Tesla? Of course not. So when did the complaints? Well, the complaints are probably coming in now with the people that don't go in there to charge and out of order because of politics. We want to go after Elon. Well, I want to remind you, no matter how much you want to go after Elon Musk, he's still going to be the richest person in the world. You can stop buying Teslas all you want. Not going to affect him in the least bit. He's still going to eat well tonight. He will eat well, and his 28 kids will eat well, and their 28 kids will eat well with that kind of generational income. Just enjoy the products the guy makes. I never had a Tesla, never had an EV. Really excited for Neuralink. I think that can help a lot of people in the future. SpaceX. It was the only good grade I ever got in school was science, and that's because I was hooked on NASA. So I'm really interested in SpaceX. The guy is the Thomas Edison of our lifetime, hopefully not the thief who didn't steal from a Tesla guy and jump on the Tesla's ideas with a direct current and alternating current and how to generate electricity. But what happened here at the charging stations was absolute BS. And that's strictly small-minded politics there. Let's get the Teslas off there. That'll stick it to Elon Musk. No, it's not. What you're doing is sticking at the Jersey residents who need to charge their car. All right, let's break for commercial. You're listening to the City Show Radio. I'll be right back.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
We're back. You're listening to City Show Radio here on GGR. Like I said, tell your friends. Download that Live 365 app. The more people we get, for that matter, we got some shows coming up. You got the MUA coming back. You got the public safety coming back this month. NJCU, they start their regular show next Wednesday, the 11th. I have to remind Sabo. For that matter, I got to talk to him. With my high school program we're working, we may introduce the college kids in here who can move around a little easier than the high school kids. Never the two will meet. Yeah, the high school kids will be here one day, college kids a different day. But we can get the college kids to go out there and do a lot of the legwork that I can have my high school kids do the editing and studio work. They're minors. You just can't run them around everywhere. Where am I going? Speaking of New Jersey Turnpike, more falsehoods have popped up on some letters to editors here. And one of the things they pointed out was political donations that have been made to various elected officials here in Hudson County from construction companies that will do the widening project, or may do the widening projects on the New Jersey Turnpike. And they keep saying the same nonsense. It'll really back up the traffic in the Holland Tunnel. There's only 2 lanes going into the Holland Tunnel. We're not just widening the project, the Turnpike, to get to the Holland Tunnel. It's going north, it's going south. You're getting a couple of new bridges. It's going into Bayonne. The bulk of it is widening the Turnpike so you can get your Amazon deliveries, so you can get your UPS delivery, so you can get FedEx there. Because nobody's going to the malls. That's why we're in the malls. The malls are all fitness centers now. You're sitting at home. You're waiting for the delivery. Well, all that has to be moved by truck. That's commerce. We've got to widen the Turnpike to allow the trucks. Go up the Turnpike in the morning to the port, and you see what I mean. You definitely got to make it easier to get in and out of the port, whether it's here in Elizabeth, Newark, or Bayonne. And you got to be able to get these trucks the hell out of here. And you got to widen the Turnpike to get more commerce traffic going north and south. Will some of it go to the Holland Tunnel? I doubt if any of the truck traffic will, because the tunnel's only 12.6. All the truck traffic now was 13.6 on the highway. 13.6, 53 feet wide, long trailers, 8.5 feet wide, 102s. Yeah, you get some more car traffic? Maybe. But now that you got congestion pricing, everybody keeps talking about, it reduced all the traffic in New York City. I don't know. I hear the traffic reports in the morning. Don't seem. Bridge is still backed up. Tunnel's backed up. Lincoln Tunnel's backed up. So when does that take effect? Really what you did by charging congestion pricing was just letting the people who can afford it go into New York. Those people that are tight on money, you take the death train, where crime on the subway is just reported to be 19% increase. But you don't need to see the numbers. You just have to listen to the radio, TV, or read a paper. And you see it all the time. Crime in the subway. Yeah, let's force these poor souls out of their safe car and into the friggin' death subways. Or maybe we put them on the buses. Yeah, the COVID tubes. Yeah, let's put them on there. Where you're lucky if you just get COVID instead of being stabbed to death by some freaking freak. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make sure the people who got money, they could get in and out of New York quick, because they'll pay that $9. But the ones that are tight on bucks, the average Joe, put them in the death subway. Put your life at risk. Or go on the COVID tubes and buses. That'll be a nice trip. But again, the New Jersey Turnpike, the widening project, it's not just going to the Holland Tunnel. Stop it. Just stop it. It's going north, south, 2 new bridges, getting in and out there. That bridge, that Newark Bay Bridge going to Bayonne, that is one rickety bridge. All right. Election day is next Tuesday, June the 10th. My wife's birthday, by the way. Hector, who's Tony Hector, who is running for assembly in the 33rd district. Tony has said he will donate his $82,000 a year salary to the Union City Food Bank if he's elected. Not bad. Mayor Fulop, when he was a councilman all those years, he used to donate his salary to Jersey City, not for profit. Now Hector's going to. It's funny he's not donating it to a North Bergen food bank, donating to Brian Stack's food bank, the Union City. I assume he's going to try to get some votes out of that. I don't know, but it's a good deed. It's a good deed to do. They should all do it. I didn't realize it was $82,000 a year plus all the perks. And there's some perks being an assembly person. Might have to. Here we go. We're going to do some endorsements. All right, 31st District. That's all of Bayonne and part of Jersey City. I'm going to go with my longtime friend, Barbara Stramato. Go vote for Barbara. I'm going to go with my other buddy who I've known for a long time, Jerry Walker. He's the Hudson County Commissioner right now. I'm going to go with Jerry Walker. I've known Jerry a long, long time. Of course, I've known Barbara a very long time. Barbara's very old. That's why I know her a very long time. But I go with Barbara Stramato and Jerry Walker in the 31st District. In the 32nd, I'm going to go with my old radio diva here, Jessica Ramirez. She was doing Impacto. Hopefully she's going to come back and start doing Impacto again. And I'm going to go out on the limb, and I'm going to say Katie Brennan. Why, Pat? Why would you go with Katie Brennan? Because she took the time to come into the studio and answer questions with John Hines. Nobody else over there did that. Well, one other person did, but I really don't care what they said. But I'm going to go with Jessica and Katie in the 32nd. In the 33rd, I'm going to go with Tony Hector and Alonzo in the 33rd District there, Frank Alonzo. I know Larry Weinstein. I know of him. I know reputation. You know, he's a political gadfly here in North Bergen. I think he's run for mayor in North Bergen 3 or 4 times and loses progressively worse each time. Self-made guy, very successful. The reason he's running as an assembly person, because Brian Stack knew, you know, he's an enemy of Nicholas Sacco in North Bergen. That's really not a good reason to pick somebody as an assembly person. And if Larry Weinstein wins, and I wish no ill will on the campaign, even though I'm supporting Tony Hector and Frank Alonzo, that is not going to be a marriage that lasts long. It's very difficult to survive with Brian Stack as it is. If you're going to be with Brian Stack, you're going to have to be 24/7, 365, maybe 25/8, 365 with Brian. Brian is out all the time. You get a phone call from Brian. He's out snow plowing at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, you want to go snow plowing with me? No, I don't want to go snow plowing with you at 3 o'clock in the morning in a city I don't live in. You go to Bryan City Hall. There are people lined up the steps to see him. And whatever their problem is, Brian's going to handle whatever that problem is. I know a lot of people who were assemblymen or women under Brian Stack. You know, rent, don't buy if you're an assembly person under Brian Stack. Yeah, just put a piece of tape on your door. Don't go out and get the fancy name plaque, or you ain't going to be there no long. Right, Ruben? Sean Connors? Remember those guys? Remember them? Antoinette? Remember them? We could go on and on. It's very difficult to work with. And Gabe Rodriguez, I wish him well. He was the former mayor of West New York. Somehow he decided he didn't want to be the mayor of West New York anymore, and Alveo Series came back, whatever that deal was. But the funny thing is, right now there is a split in the Democratic Party in Hudson County. You got the forces of the HCDO against the forces of Steve Fulop. And those forces of Steve Fulop aren't going anywhere. It's a lose-lose situation. If Fulop becomes the candidate, wins the primary, not going to bode well for some people. If Fulop loses the primary, it's not going to bode well for people in Hudson County because he had the plan B. It'll be interesting to see how all this goes. Sheriff race. Yeah, I've known Sheriff Frank for a long time, and I've known Jimmy Davis a long time. Jimmy has never ducked an interview. Jimmy has never ducked a debate, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to go and I'm going to endorse Jimmy Davis for sheriff, only because I know if he's the sheriff, he'll be in the studio. He'll be in the studio with me. He'll be in the studio with John Hines. But I will say again, there are some people running for election who are truly products of the line and have no effing idea as to what it takes to campaign. And you know that is the case when someone says, I'm going to run on my record. Yeah, you're going to be standing still then. because you got to get out there. You got to campaign. Some of these people in this race are definitely products of the old county line. All right, let's break for commercial. You're listening to The City Show here on GGR. I'll be right back.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
We're back. You're listening to the City Show here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. Don't forget, download the app, Live 365. I'm looking at my ballot now. Let's see. Governor, we got Gottheimer, Russ Baraka, Steve Phillips, Steve Sweeney, Mikey Sherrill, and Sean Spiller. Phillips, 3A. Go 3A. Go 3A. Oh, there we go. And for you Republicans, go 1A. Jack Citarelli. And we got, I already did my endorsements here. I really don't know Jenny Poo or Crystal Fonseca. I know her husband, Pablo. I would go over to Republicans, but it's not going to work in Hudson County. But maybe there's a change. If you get one Republican across the line in Hudson County, then you know there's a change. The courthouse park, where what we call the new courthouse, which they're going to tear down, the big green ugly thing, where unfortunately we just had a situation where a sheriff fell out of the window, fell 9 stories to his death. Young guy, Rivera, former Bayonne cop, who became a sheriff. Condolences to his family. Young kid, 29 years old. Esther is working, our Hudson County prosecutor is working the investigation. I'm sure we'll have something on this next week. I know Wednesday, tomorrow, there's a ceremony in Bayonne. We'll be lighting candles in the park for him. It's tragic what happened here. But, again, our condolences go out. That very building where the sheriff fell out the window will be knocked down when they get the Frank Guarini Justice Center, the new courthouse, up and running. There's still a lot of finishing work to be done. The plan is when they knock down, I think it's 565 Newark Avenue. I think that's the address of the ugly green building. That was never designed to be a courthouse. Somebody just switched gears. It was a 4-story building, then they added 5 stories. Let's bring a courthouse out of it. There was no way to bring in criminals, separate tunnels or anything. Criminals went in with the victims at the same time. They're going to knock that down. And the game plan now is for Jersey City to open a park there for about $14 million. First off, we ain't got no $14 million. That's probably not the best location. Here's my problem with the park. Do we want to open up a park where moms and their kids will be playing across the street from a courthouse that is going to handle some of the most violent criminals that we have in Hudson County and the state of New Jersey, and the many others that cross the Hudson River to commit crimes here, or immigrants, whatever. Bad people, whether they're undocumented or they're born here. We got enough of our own bad criminals here. Now, as you see with the court cases now with bail reform and slaps on the wrist, I have these violent criminals that could be released from jail, walk outside, and right across the street from the park where all the kids are playing. I'm not sure that's a good location for this. Not to mention that some of these guys, they might be gangbangers, some vicious, violent criminals whose buddies are outside waiting. They might decide to do something in the park. It's not the ideal spot. Now, what you could do, maybe you build a school. But then that's that clientele problem from the court. Do I want to build a school where I got hardened criminals right across the street. No. Now, you do need to build a school because if you've been in that area by the Brennan Courthouse in the last few years, it's completely changed. There are high-rises, 40-story, 50-story, 60-story buildings. There's got to be 10 to 12 of them out there now. Almost each one of those buildings need their own school. They'll have that many kids. You're looking at a potential of about 5,000 kids just in that cluster of high-rises. And it's a legitimate cluster because there's like 10 or 12 of them. Where are those kids going to school? Or we're just not going to have any children. Oh, that'd be like that when they told me about 350 Warren Street. No, there'll be no children in this building. That's what renting to eunuchs? What's going on here? How can you not have children? That's always these things. They always say this crap. My other fun one is they're not going to have a car. They're coming from New York. They're not going to drive cars. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Go downtown Jersey City. For that matter, go down Hoboken Avenue by Jersey and 18th Street where they built all the high-rises. See how many cars are there. Because they don't drive cars. You'd be amazed how many cars are there. There's cars all over the effing place. Because they want the freedom of having a car. You got these particular electeds who, I don't know, they're like monkey see, monkey do, monkey see, monkey no hear, monkey no do. Well, these are those three monkeys. They're all wrapped into one sometimes. Yes, they will come in here for cars. Speaking of cars, one of the problems that are holding up this park is where are we going to park the cars? It turns out the Francarini Courthouse, they built a garage, pretty big garage, but not big enough. And apparently it can only handle about 25% of the anticipated need of parking for the Francarini Courthouse and the county building, because there are county buildings there, the Brennan Courthouse and what we call the Commissioner's Building. You need parking because we don't have a transporter device where I can just press the button, I can beam myself from my house over to the Commissioner's Building. No. And we don't have a good, reliable mass transit because we don't have a subway. We have buses. And one of the other problems we have in Jersey City is very narrow streets. Very few streets in Jersey City are 2-lane each way. Very few. Most of them are one. So when you stick a bus in there, you tie up everything. So we don't have a good mass transit in Jersey City. So that's what people have to do. We drive. We're Jersey City people. We drive. We drive to go get a coffee at the corner store. Yeah, we'll drive everywhere. We have a car, we're going to use it. I think we should come up with another plan for that piece of property. Maybe we should have built affordable housing there. What? Affordable housing in a high-rise? Yes, you could do that. I think a property just changed hands on 70 Central Avenue, where the old Kabbalah was, right across the street from KJ's, for $20 million. And I think there's something like 400 apartments in there for 20. You're going to tell me I can't build a high-rise with, say, 600 units of housing for, say, $30 million that I'm going to pay off bond over for 30 years. So it's going to cost the city of Jersey City, the county of Hudson, and the state of New Jersey $1 million a year. So we split that. And we can't build affordable housing on that spot? Yes, we can. We just want to have to do it like we used to. We did that in the past. We don't do it anymore. All right, I'm being told I'm running out of time. That's a quick hour. You know, I didn't even open the phone lines. We just kept rolling. I just keep going on and going on and going on. All right, you people, remember, early voting has started. Hopefully the gates are up where you want to early vote, because they're not up in my district on Patterson Street. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you later. Good night.